Hello everyone, and as promised, I have a special preview and predictions video lined up for you here tonight. I'm going to be talking about Summerslam 2018, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4, and All In, the big independent wrestling event happening Labor Day weekend on a Saturday. Actually, NXT TakeOver is happening on a Saturday too. I wonder if the takeovers are so well received because they all happen on Saturday. And it's just, that seems like a better time to hold a pay-per-view. You can hold a party then, you know, you can stay up late, you don't have to get up for work the next day, or if you're a kid, you don't have to go to school the next day. Granted, it's summer anyway, kids aren't in school anyway, but you get my point. Like, how did Sunday get to be the standard pay-per-view day for wrestling? It just seems stupid to me. I think back at the time it was decided, I think at the time the thought was everybody would be home on a Sunday because they've got to be ready for school and be ready for work the next day. So that would be like the maximum potential to get the largest audience. But I don't know, I just kind of feel like, you know, especially in the WWE side of things, the pay-per-views are getting longer and longer. It's just, I don't know, I just feel like Saturday would be a better day to have it, but that's just me. But anyway, side rant aside, let's jump into the cards themselves. All right, we've got NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4 happening Saturday night. Definitely looking forward to it. They have Pete Dunne versus Zach Gibson lined up for the WWE UK Championship. That's going to be a match that's going to be taped before TakeOver and then airs the next week on NXT, which has become a bit of a tradition where the immediate post-TakeOver NXT episode is pretty much the pre-show from the TakeOver. No, I'm not even going to bother giving a prediction there. There's no real story. And I'm going to see the match on NXT next week anyway, so there you go. All right, starting from the bottom, we've got the Velveteen Dream taking on EC3, two guys who I am very high on. I love the way they carry themselves as characters and on the mic and in the ring, the way they project their characters and their personalities. These two guys get it. They absolutely get the entertainment aspect of professional wrestling and how to play a character and how to convey their wants, desires, and personalities. These two guys are just very, very good at it, and I expect this to be a very exciting match. I expect it to be a very fun one. I have no idea who's going to win because I kind of feel like this is a match where both guys could use the win. EC3 hasn't really had like a big takeover victory since he's been there, and Velveteen Dream is... I love the guy, and I kind of want him to win, but he's kind of turning into Tyler Breeze, where Tyler got over huge in NXT, but then it got to a point where come TakeOver, he would always lose. And he just would never win that big match, which was disappointing. So I kind of want both of them to win, but they can't. So I'm going to pick Velveteen Dream to win, but... yeah, it's a tough call. This is a very tough call. I could just as easily see it going the other way as well. But I think it's going to be a very entertaining match just because of who's involved. I think both those guys are very good. Then for the NXT Tag Team Championship, we've got a rematch. The rubber match between the two teams, the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, defending against Mustache Mountain, Tyler Bate and Trent Seven. Their match in the UK was very good. Their match on the recent episode of NXT was very good. Got 5 stars from Meltzer for those of you that care about that type of stuff. It was very well received. They have very good tag matches, and I think this one will follow suit. I think this will be another great tag team match. You know, the tag title matches have kind of been... I don't want to say the show stealers of NXT for a while now, but because, you know, the Ciampa Gargano matches have been really good, but they've been really, really good, and I expect this to be more the same. I think Undisputed Era is going to win it because they've got War Raiders waiting in the wings to face them. It'll be cool to see War Machine start to get pushed and start to get on track and start doing something cool, but I expect the heels to retain here, so I'm going with Undisputed Era, or the NXT Kingdom as I prefer to call them, because I just don't like that. It's really like the only thing I don't like about the group. It's like, God, that name sucks. But anyway, the tag title match should be pretty good. Then for the NXT Women's Championship, we've got Shayna Baszler defending against Kairi Sane. I think this is going to be a really good match, mainly because Baszler is a great bully type of character, and Kairi Sane is more of a plucky baby face, and I think they're going to have a very natural chemistry, and I think they're going to mesh together very well. They had a good match at the Mae Young Classic in the finals last year, but I think with more of a story and more build behind Baszler, I think this match could and probably should be even better than that. So I'm expecting a really good match between these two. I can see Sane winning it, but I'm going to go with Baszler to retain, because I think they're going to want to... I don't know. They've got a good thing in her with her building heat and everything, and I think... I just think they're going to want to keep that gravy train rolling. I think she's doing really well right now. So I'll pick Baszler to win, but I would not be surprised if Sane won. Next up for the NXT North American Championship, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time this title's been defended at a TakeOver since the ladder match. I believe, if I'm not, I could be wrong, but Adam Cole defending his belt against Ricochet. This match is going to be great. I think Adam Cole is a fantastic... He's fantastic at being Adam Cole. This guy that... this dirtbag heel that outsmarts everybody and always finds a way to worm his way to victory. And you've got Ricochet, who's one of the best high flyers out there right now. So I think this is going to be a very good match. Yeah, another tough call. I can see Ricochet winning the title, but my gut says go with... well, you know, I have so many heels winning here, and I think a heel's going to win in the main event as well. So I'll go out on a limb and predict Ricochet to win the North American title. Just, again, a lot of tough calls on this card, and that's exciting. It's like there's a lot of matches. There's like, damn, I don't know who's going to win most of these matches. The only one I'm certain on is the tag title match. Everything else is up in the air. And maybe the main event to a point, but... yeah, I'm going to go... I'll pick Ricochet to win the title, but that's kind of me just going off on a limb. And then we have the main event, the third encounter between Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. It was supposed to be Gargano, Ciampa, and Aleister Black in a three-way, but Black got injured, and they did the whole angle investigating who it was that injured him. And we'll see how that angle goes. Hopefully there's more of a resolution to it than there was for... Hideo Itami. I don't think they ever revealed who attacked Hideo Itami right before that one takeover. I think it was implied that it was Kevin Owens, but it was never directly resolved or stated, which is rare for NXT to leave storylines dangling like that. But anyway, we've got Ciampa versus Gargano in a last man standing match for the NXT Championship. The WrestleMania weekend match was great. Their street fight at the next TakeOver was great. I expect this one to be very good as well. I kind of wanted to get the triple threat here with Black. Maybe have, again, my friend's idea was to have Black win the title back, and then Ciampa and Gargano would be 1-1-1 against each other, and you would need, they could do another match at the next TakeOver to kind of wrap everything up. But instead, we're kind of getting it here, so we're getting Ciampa versus Gargano 3 TakeOvers in a row, which may feel a little repetitive to some people, but we've got the title on the line now, and it's a last man standing match. So, I expect this to be a very good match as per usual from these two. I say Ciampa retains the title. I think he's the best heel on the show right now. I think he's been doing outstanding. I was happy when he won the belt. I was like, yay, we got an asshole heel as the champ. That's great. So I think Ciampa's going to retain here, and I expect another very, very good match between these two. And it looks like we're primed and set to get another very strong TakeOver special from Brooklyn. So... I mean, yeah, expect this to be the show of the weekend. SummerSlam, how is that going to do? How is SummerSlam going to fare in comparison? Well, we've got 13 matches. Good God, that's a lot. And now I'm going to be doing these previews and predictions. Keep in mind, as I've stated many times before, I have not been watching Raw. I have not been watching SmackDown. I am going to watch SummerSlam. I've decided, it's like, all right, I'll watch it just to see what's up and see if they're able to do something good. The last pay-per-view I watched, the last piece of main roster WWE material that I watched was Backlash, which I thought was terrible. I thought it was an absolutely dreadful show, and that kind of beat me into submission where I'm like, I can't, I'm done. I'm tapping out. I need a break from this. So I have not watched Raw or SmackDown since, and I've been a much happier wrestling fan because of it. So, but I am going to give them a chance here. It's SummerSlam. This card does not look terrible. Maybe they'll deliver something good. And if they do, maybe I'll go back to watching Raw and SmackDown. We shall see. But let's start off with what's on the pre-show. We've got 3 matches on the pre-show. We've got a mixed tag team match, Rusev and Lana versus Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega. A battle of the 2 power couples that probably deserve better. That's really all I have to say about that. I don't even know what the buildup is. To me, it's 4 people that are talented at what they do, are talented when put in the right role. Like Lana, not a good worker, very good valet. And, Andrade Cien Almas and Selena Vega, I think they made a very good pairing in NXT. I think the Rusev Day got over huge. And I think Rusev deserves a lot more than he got, but he got over while going against whatever the plan was. So of course he wasn't going to get the thing, the push that he should have. But yeah, I think I've talked way more about this mixed tag match than I should. I'm not even going to pick a winner because why bother? Then we have the B team, Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel defending the Raw Tag Team Championships. When the fuck did they win? I guess they beat Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy at some point, and I just didn't hear about it. But okay, so we got the B team taking on my boys, the Revival. Probably the best goddamn, from a work rate standpoint, the best goddamn tag team in the world right now. And WWE, granted, injuries didn't help, but how do you not have a plan for these guys? I don't know. They're the second coming of Arn and Tully. Like, what are you doing? Come on. So I hope the Revival wins the belts here because, Jesus Christ, you want to get me back into being excited about tag team wrestling on the main roster. That's a good way to do it. Put the belts on the Revival. That'll at least make me want to give you guys a look and be like, oh, let's see what's going on over here. Okay. And finally on the pre-show, we have Cedric Alexander defending the Cruiserweight Championship against Drew Gulak. I guess that's fine. I'd been watching 205 Live for a bit, and that was the match they were setting up. I think it was the right match to do based on everything they were doing. Hopefully they have a good match. That's really all I have to say about it. I would put the title on Drew because I think he's a more interesting character, and he's the top heel on the show, and I'm a very heel-centric guy. Put the titles on the heels so you can have you can build up underdog baby faces to face them. Maybe you can get Mustafa Ali back in the mix after SummerSlam to face Drew, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. But that's the pre-show. Let's get into the main card. We've got Finn Balor versus Constable Baron Corbin. I don't care. And I'm not picking a winner because I don't care. We've got Shinsuke Nakamura defending the United States title against Jeff Hardy. I guess Hardy wins and then goes on to his feud with Randy Orton because I know they're doing that right now. I've heard a lot of people talk about that. Apparently, Randy Orton's heel turn is going really well from what I've heard. Good for them, I guess. Yeah, although Randy Orton might be in trouble. I've heard he's being accused of sexual misconduct, meaning he would touch his dick and then force the new writers to shake his hand after he touched his dick, which, what the fuck, man? Like, seriously? That is so juvenile and stupid, but anyway. I don't doubt that he did it because Orton had been accused of doing all sorts of stupid frat douchey type of stuff before in the past, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was true. But anyway, U.S. title match, Nakamura versus Hardy. I can't say I care all that much, but I'll pick Hardy to win the belt back. Then we got Daniel Bryan versus The Miz, the match that I think we all wanted at WrestleMania, but with Bryan's contract being what it is, the situation with his contract being what it is, this might be their only chance to do the match. I don't know if they've done anything to build this up or how they've built this up. The history was definitely there for all the, the promos they cut on each other and Miz ripping off Daniel Bryan's yes kicks and that epic rant that Miz went on Talking Smack way back when. This felt like a natural match to build to. I don't know if they've done that effectively. I do feel like, through no fault of his own, I feel like Daniel Bryan has been missing a spark since he came back to the ring because they haven't given him anything to really make him that interesting character that he was. Daniel Bryan was at his most interesting when he was fighting against the Authority and going against the Grain. Now it just feels like, oh hey, Daniel Bryan's back. And isn't that great? And it is great, but there's not that, like, epic conflict there for him to kind of sink his teeth into. Obviously, the Big Cass situation, Big Cass, I should say, that situation, that feud didn't really work out for anybody involved. So, and that was the last thing I saw Daniel Bryan do. So, yeah. I'll pick Daniel Bryan to win. Hopefully it's one of the better matches on the show, because that is the match that everybody wanted Daniel Bryan to have when he came back. Just from a storyline perspective, it was just a natural match to do. All right, and then we've got a triple threat match for the SmackDown Women's title. Carmella versus Becky Lynch versus Charlotte. Might be okay. Does Charlotte win the belt here? I don't know. Because we're all guessing it's going to be Charlotte versus Rousey at WrestleMania, but I don't know. Maybe Charlotte wins the Rumble and goes over to Raw to face Rousey. I don't know what they're going to do, but yeah, I guess this will be fine. Given Becky and Charlotte are involved, and Carmella's great at being a shitty heel, they could probably do something like something good with it, kind of akin to what the WrestleMania triple threat for the IC title was, where you had guys like Finn Balor, who could carry the load from a work rate standpoint. Then you had The Miz, who's this awesome heel, so everything just kind of clicked. Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and The Miz, that match. So yeah, maybe they'll be able to do something good here. Maybe this could be solid. Next up, for the Intercontinental title, we've got Dolph Ziggler defending against Seth Rollins, with Drew McIntyre in Ziggler's corner, and Dean Ambrose, the returning Dean Ambrose, who I've seen a screenshot of him. He looks amazing. Dude, that guy hit the gym. That's the best I've ever seen Moxley look. Good Lord, he looks great. Yeah, I think this is a solid setup here. Ziggler has been getting an advantage on Seth because he has outside interference from Drew. And now Seth is counterbalancing that by getting Dean Ambrose to be in his corner. So I will pick Seth to win here, although don't be surprised if Ambrose turns heel on Seth and you get that feud revisited, only now with Ambrose as the heel and Seth as the face. So maybe they can do that. But I'm going to pick Seth to win the title here and kind of conclude his series of matches with Dolph Ziggler. I think this is going to be one of the better matches on the show, to be perfectly honest. Next up, we've got Braun Strowman defending his Money in the Bank briefcase against Kevin Owens. And the briefcase can change hands no matter how Strowman loses. So DQ, count out, no matter what, Kevin will win the briefcase no matter how he wins. Now, which leads me to believe, all right, they put that stipulation in place, so that means Strowman's losing the briefcase to Kevin, right? Is that what they're doing? Because I know they did that finish in their steel cage match where Strowman chokeslammed or threw or did something to knock Kevin Owens off the top of the cage and threw it in an announce table. And Kevin Owens won the match even though Strowman killed him. So it's kind of a similar deal to the Shamrock versus Rock matches from '98, where Shamrock would always dominate and destroy The Rock. Look at their WrestleMania match. But he would always go too far and get himself disqualified. So it was almost like Shamrock was beating himself. And that, that finish is kind of the same thing, where Strowman could probably dominate and throw Kevin Owens around like a rag doll, but he goes too far, gets himself disqualified, or slams him off the cage and gives Owens the victory. So, yeah, I could see a situation like that taking place where Strowman just goes too far and gets himself DQ'd or something, and Kevin takes the briefcase. So I'll pick Kevin Owens to win the briefcase. Maybe for a late night cash-in against the winner of Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, but we'll get there when we get there. Next up, Wikipedia, you're ordering the matches here. I feel like this should be closer to the bottom, but anyway. We've got, for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, we've got the Bludgeon Brothers defending against the New Day. I expect this to be a filler match. I'm not expecting too much out of this. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know how the Bludgeon Brothers have been doing on SmackDown, because again, I haven't been watching them, but yeah. That's all I got. And then we got, I guess you could say our three main events for the show. By the way, thank God they didn't do Cena and Undertaker 2 at SummerSlam. I'm really happy with that. Although, given that the match, the WrestleMania match, wasn't made official until Mania itself, who knows? They may pull a thing on SummerSlam where Cena comes out and has an impromptu match with Undertaker, so who knows? But anyway, our three main events, we've got for the Raw Women's Championship, we've got Ronda Rousey challenging the champion Alexa Bliss. There are two ways this can go. Either Ronda Rousey completely destroys Alexa Bliss, or Alexa Bliss gets herself disqualified and saves the title. One of those two. One of those two things is going to happen. I'm going to pick Rousey to win the belt, but again, I could just as easily see Alexa Bliss getting herself disqualified or counted out and losing, but still saving the title. Alexa, stop! Alexa, stop! What are you doing? There's my... What are you doing? Alexa! Stop! You're ruining my video. God, it's been a while since I've had an unwanted cameo from my Echo Dot over there. That you know that's why, because I haven't been watching WWE shows, so I haven't been talking about Little Miss Bliss, so she hasn't been setting off my fucking Echo. But anyway, seriously, could you change your name to like Alexandria or something, so I don't have to remind myself to unplug my Echo Dot every friggin' video I do? But anyway, yeah, Rousey, I'm picking Rousey to win the title. And I am not cutting that Echo Dot cameo out of the video because I'm too lazy. Anyway, then we have the main event. Once again, for the Universal title, we've got Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. And you know what, Vince McMahon, kudos to you. Kudos. You have created a situation where not only do I want Roman Reigns to win, I am practically pleading for Roman Reigns to win the title here just so this can be over. Can we just have Roman Reigns win so we never have this match happen ever again? Please and thank you. And that's all I've got to say about it. It's like, I just hope to God that Reigns wins. If they do a Money in the Bank cash in afterwards, fine. If they are, whatever they got to do to get the title off of Lesnar and to never do Roman Reigns. No, I take that back. I want Roman Reigns to beat Brock Lesnar just so it can be over. So we never have to revisit this match ever again, and it can finally be over, we can move on, and we can all be happy with our lives. And Lesnar can go do whatever the fuck he wants to do in UFC. I think him going to UFC at this stage of his life and career is a huge mistake, but whatever. I don't care anymore. I've officially been beaten down to a point where I do not care. So that is likely to be the main event of the show, but one match that I accidentally skipped, and I'll go into that, has absolutely no chance of closing, but I'll talk about it regardless. For the WWE Championship, we have AJ Styles defending against Samoa Joe. Jesus Christ, if I time warped to TNA 2005. Remember when that was like the match in TNA in 2005? Their turning point match to this day, I still think is one of the best matches in that company's history. Excellent match. Are they going to be able to have that same quality of match at this stage of their careers? I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see. I have my doubts because I don't think Samoa Joe is quite what he used to be, but we'll see. I mean, I could be wrong. Also, you got to wonder card placement, the amount of time they're going to get, various other things that could factor into this as well. I don't think it's going to be as good as their matches from the past. It is absolutely surreal to see AJ Styles and Samoa Joe in a WWE title match in any year, much less 2018. But it'll be interesting to say the least. It'll almost have a nostalgic feel to it because it's like, oh, I remember when this was like my favorite match in 2005. Good times. But anyway, I'm gonna pick AJ to retain here just because. Just because I haven't been following the build-up anyway, so I don't have an educated opinion on it regardless. But yeah, so that's SummerSlam. There are a couple interesting matches on there. Could be a pretty good show. And except for Lesnar, like none of the part-timers are on there, which is interesting. So it's a chance for the current stars to kind of shine a little bit and prove that they're deserving of big spots on the mega cards. So, yeah, could be a good show. And hopefully it is, because I'm going to watch it. And if it's not, I'm going to go right back to not watching Raw or SmackDown. So we shall see. Fingers crossed. And now let's wrap this up with All In. All In, which I'm going to be able to see. Thank God for the Fight app. And, wow, this show is... good for Cody and good for the Bucks that they plan this. They produce this show, and they're giving us fans of professional wrestling, those of us that are always looking for new expressions of the art form, always looking for exciting new things in the business. Cody and the Young Bucks had our backs and gave us this exciting show. Sold out in under half an hour or whatever it was, and it's going to be very exciting, very historic show. And I'm proud of them. Good for them. I'm glad that they were able to pull this off. And now all we got to do is wait for the show and watch and enjoy. So we're going to be having the 0-hour pre-show on WGN America, which has 2 matches on it. We have a tag team match between the Briscoe brothers and members of SoCal Uncensored, Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky. I think that has potential to be a pretty solid tag team match. And then we have the over-the-budget Battle Royal, 15 men competing for a world title shot, the Ring of Honor world title, I should say, later in the actual event. So the winner of this Battle Royal will get to face Jay Lethal on the main card. Participants in the Battle Royal are, of the announced ones, we have Jordan Grace. I have no idea who that is. We have Moose on loan from TNA. We have Rocky Romero. We have Colt Cabana. We have Ethan Page. We have Brian Cage. That'll be cool to see. I might even consider giving him the win. We have Billy Gunn, and who was just announced yesterday. And we have Jimmy Jacobs, who was just announced today. So, yeah, that's going to be fun. That'll be fun. And hopefully we get a good Ring of Honor World title match out of it. Of the announced names so far, I'm thinking either Brian Cage or Moose. This is what I'm thinking. Although I guess I don't know if Ring of Honor will have something to say about that, if they'll want one of their guys to win the Battle Royal and get the title shot. But be that as it may, it'll be very interesting to see who wins that. But let's jump into the main card and all the interesting things. I already talked about we're going to get a Ring of Honor World title match as Jay Lethal faces the winner of the over-the-budget Battle Royal. I'll pick Lethal to win, but it would be kind of awesome if the winner of the Battle Royal won the Ring of Honor World title. I think that would be like a major holy fuck moment for the All In pay-per-view. Lethal's reign would be short-lived, but I also think it would be like, it's very tempting for me to kind of go, it's like they should probably do a title change here just for the headline, if nothing else. Is like the winner from the Battle Royal came out of nowhere and defeated Jay Lethal for the Ring of Honor title when no one was expecting it. I think that might be an exciting thing to do. We're having a 4-way women's match. Madison Rayne, Britt Baker, Chelsea Green, formerly Laurel Van Ness of TNA, and Tessa Blanchard. That's a nice collection of talent there. Especially Tessa. I would give the win to Tessa just because I like her and I'm really high on her, although I guess it doesn't really matter. It's just a 4-way women's match. It's not necessarily for anything. It's just a 4-way match. So, hopefully they're able to do something good, and hopefully Tessa gets the win because I like her. Next up, we have singles match, Joey Janela versus Hangman Page. I have never seen Joey Janela before, so this is going to be interesting. He's going to be accompanied to the ring by Penelope Ford. Again, I have no idea who that is. But, yeah, I've never seen Joey Janela, but people have been telling me he's really good. And Hangman Page has been having really good matches with everybody. So, yeah, I think hopefully this is a nice sleeper hit for the show. Next up, we have the celebrity match. We've got Christopher Daniels versus Stephen Amell of Arrow fame. This is cool. I like that Stephen Amell and Cody have like that continued working relationship. And there's been speculation that Cody went off to film episodes of Arrow, which would be awesome if Cody showed up on Arrow. That would be great. Yeah, I think Stephen Amell, he comes across as somebody that really enjoys doing it whenever he's brought in to do something like this. I thought he did really well at that one SummerSlam match that he did a few years ago, and I think Daniels and Amell could have a really fun match. Again, the thing with celebrity matches, it can only go one of two ways. It's either a lot of fun and really cool to watch, or it's a train wreck disaster. There's almost no in between. It's always one or the other. I'm confident, having watched Stephen Amell work a match before, I'm confident that, especially when put in there with someone like Christopher Daniels, who's a really solid ring general, I think they can put together something fun. And maybe it'll be something kooky and crazy. Maybe Stephen Amell will dress up like the Green Arrow and start like shooting like play arrows at Daniels or some shit like that. I expect this to be like a really funny, like bananas bonkers type of match. But yeah, I'll pick, because the celebrity almost always goes over, I'll pick Stephen Amell to win, because that's typically how it goes. But again, I'm looking forward to that one because I think it's going to be a hoot. Oh, and in the previous match, I'll pick Hangman Page to go over Joey Janela. just because. All right, next up we have two guys that I really like but never thought about putting them together. Kazuchika Okada versus Marty Scurll, the villain. I think this could be a really good match. Okada's one of those guys that works well with just about everybody he's put in there with, and I think Marty's a lot of fun too, so I expect this to be a good match. I think I'm going to enjoy this. I'm a mark for both guys, so here's hoping that this turns out really well. I'll pick Okada to win just because he's Okada, and I know he just came off of a losing streak, but he's Okada and is a really big name and a big star, and I think that they're going to want to continue to push him as such. So I think he'll probably go over here. Next up for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, we've got Nick Aldis, formerly Magnus of TNA, defending against Cody Rhodes. Cody challenging for the championship that his father once held. So a lot of historical significance here. I think the match is going to have a great atmosphere to it just because of the historical significance behind it, and because Cody is going to be mad over for being one of the promoters of this great event. And I think he's going to be really over with the crowd, and I think he's going to win the title here, and just for that feel-good moment on the All-In card. So for that, I think the match will work. Nick Aldis is not one of my favorite workers, but I think he has a great presence to him, and I think with the situation being what it is, I think this could turn out to be a highlight for the show, especially if Cody wins, which I feel he should. And next up is the match I am personally most looking forward to. The Cleaner, the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Kenny Omega versus Pentagon Jr. Jesus Christ, sign me up now. My favorite guy from Lucha Underground versus my favorite guy from one of my favorite guys from New Japan. Yeah, this is going to be great. Pentagon also probably my favorite guy in Impact Wrestling right now as well. So, again, this is like a cross-promotional dream match right here. It's like, damn, this is going to be cool. This match is going to be cool. I love it. I'm looking forward to it. I expect this to be... like I said, this is the match I'm looking forward to the most on the card, so probably, I wouldn't be surprised if this was match of the night. So I'll pick Kenny Omega to win, but I think it's going to be a really exciting match regardless. And finally, we have the match that the Bucks confirmed on Twitter would be the main event of the show. Six-man tag, Rey Mysterio Jr., Phoenix and Bandito versus the Golden Elite, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks, and Kota Ibushi. This match is going to be insane. Insane. This match is going to be crazy. Yeah, I expect this to be if this is going to be the closer, I expect it to be a really strong closer. So I will pick the Golden Elite to win just because the Bucks are the promoters, and you know how promoters are. They want to put themselves over. Fuck. But yeah, Golden Elite goes over here, and I think this is going to be a hell of a match and a hell of a way to close. So, and again, look at the mix of talents here. You've got the Young Bucks, you've got Ibushi, you've got Mysterio, you've got Phoenix. I mean, Bandito's the weakest name of the bunch, and I'm only calling him the weakest one of the bunch because I'm not as familiar with him as I am everybody else. So I think this is going to be a wild, crazy, great match and a great closer to what is hopefully a very exciting show. So again, I'm really happy that Cody and the Bucks were able to pull this off, and it's done as well as it has already. And here's hoping we just get a really fun, exciting show. I'm not expecting this to be like a Wrestle Kingdom style, you know, one great match after another, you know, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, that type of thing. What I am expecting is something more lines of like the first One Night Stand or something like it, where it's just, this is going to feel like a party. Like, this is going to feel like just have a great atmosphere to it. It's historically significant. I think it's going to be a very exciting show, and I cannot wait to see it. And I've already planned a party. I'm hosting a party with some of my friends. Going to be having pizza and beer and all that other fun stuff, and I'm just looking to have a good time. And as a wrestling fan, I am more than happy to throw my money at this because I think it's important that shows like this happen, and I think it's cool that you know, these entrepreneurial guys, the Bucks and Cody, were able to pull something like this off. I think it's great for them. Good on them for doing something like this, and I cannot wait to see what the final result is because I think it's going to be really good. So those are my thoughts on All In, and ultimately those are all my thoughts on all the shows happening this weekend. And hopefully TakeOver's good, hopefully Summerslam's good, and then after that we've got All In happening Labor Day weekend. So I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a very interesting couple of weeks. So that is all I have for you in this video. I am doing my Clash of the Champions and Saturday night's main event stream tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. And I might have a few surprises for you lined up on Sunday, so we shall see. But for right now, I am signing off for tonight. I'm going to bed. Y'all have a good one.